So today's class is on herbal first aid, and I have a fair amount of experience. There's a couple of events that I've been going to for over 25 years. They're not very long. They're only like 1 to 1.5 weeks long. So it's called the Rainbow Gathering. And while there's many things I don't care for about the Rainbow Gathering, so I don't want to plug it per se, but I've been working first aid there for a very long time. And during my 8 or 9 days that I'm working there, we'll see like 700 to 800 people. So one thing that's about herbal first aid is that often people, when I say I do herbal first aid, they'll ask, like, really, you can do like first herbal, like plants work in first aid? Like, that's the basic, right? I mean, all of us come from a tradition of herbal first aid, whether it's 5 years ago, 500 years ago, or 5,000 years ago. What we had to treat as human beings forever, and before we were human beings, before we're monkeys and gorillas and apes and chimpanzees, and when we're fish, I mean, we're going all the way back. The thing that you have to know is how to treat the wounds and injuries that you get from getting bit by other things and scratching yourself. Herbal first aid is like the primary form of medicine, and then you have the more tricky things, right? If I can give echinacea and I ask them if they have an autoimmune condition and they say, yes, I have lupus, I have Sjogren's, I have MS, I have rheumatoid arthritis, what I'll tell them is occasionally, not too common, but occasionally doesn't mean rare, that this might cause a flare-up. Do you still want to try it? So next is hops. Hops is Humulus lupulus. It is the only scientific name of an herb that only uses one vowel. So which is the letter U. So if you're ever doing Herbal Jeopardy and that question comes up, that's your answer. Hops is a really useful plant. Hops makes a good tincture, a really good glycerite, and a terrible tea. Valerian is very common. That has about 1 out of 9 or 10 people have a bad reaction to valerian. But hops is less. I have no idea why. I think idiosyncrasy is just the norm, or individuality is the norm with taking medicines. So licorice has 2 major things going for it. For some people, they like the flavor of licorice. It's anti-inflammatory, both for joints and for the inflammation that occurs during illness. And it's one of the only anti-inflammatories that's also demulcent. So it adds that mucilaginous quality, that softening quality to your medicine.